Hello and welcome to another how-to video of Infor's PLM Discrete version 10.2. I am Brian Rockwell, PLM Solutions Architect at Rockwell Consults. Roles are the basic security and functional definition given to each user as they log into PLM. Roles are essential for each user access to PLM and to individual projects. Care should be taken to test and verify the roles for each user type and make sure they have access to permitted objects and functions and are prohibited from those they are not allowed to access. Because roles are project specific, a certain user may have a role in one project but a different one in another project. This allows certain users to have more access to perform higher functions but be restricted to another. An example would be a design engineer may have design engineer access to the engineering project, but only observer rights in the production project. Conversely, a production engineer may have observer rights in the engineering project, but design engineer access to the production project. To start with, we will log in with a user that has admin rights in PLM. Once logged in, the roles are accessed from the Administration drop-down box. Because of the granularity of the role settings, we will not be able to address every scenario, but at least we can review best practices and understand the overall feel of the role and how it behaves in PLM. Now that the roles management pane is displayed, we can see the standard menu buttons seen on most panes in PLM. The Save, Cancel, New, Delete, Expand All, Collapse All, and Refresh buttons are all known, however the last text button is new. As you create a new role in PLM, you will need to authorize it to the menu. We will discuss this a little later in the video. Let us now focus on the role panes themselves. The left half is dedicated to showing the objects or elements and sub-elements in a collapsible structure with individual actions underneath. The top right pane will show the pane IDs that use the action selected. The lower right pane shows the roles and their ability to perform the action. You also will note that there are two options for each action. Allowed means the user can perform this action. Special privilege indicates the user may execute this action as an administrator. Typically, this will be clearer when dealing with released items and documents. As you see, the general administrator has all actions selected due to their elevated access requirements. In order to create a new role, we will use the existing roles as templates. I typically suggest leaving them alone so that in any case something happens that you cannot remember what you did to configure an undesired setting, you can revert back to the base roles and start anew. Now that I have created a new role, I will authorize it to the menu so that it can be used by users in PLM. As a side note, it is typically easier for you to first test a role in PLM and determine the expected behavior before making significant changes to the role. Now that we have created a new role, let us set a user with the new role to test it. We will need to open the user management pane from the Workflow Manager. I have created an admin work area to facilitate handling just this kind of exercise. Here you can review existing users and their default roles, as well as what role they use for each project. For this specific work area, I am using it to control projects and project users on the left, and the user roles and projects on the right. I put groups in the background as well, should I need to review group users. I now select the user I wish to modify and review the existing roles. Since I just created a new role, I will go ahead and set the test project for this user with the new role. Once I save, this user's profile will be updated. Let us set an action so that we can test it in PLM. Something that may or may not be an option would be to allow a user with a role of observer to create and delete a business process. Allowing an observer to create a business process may not be dangerous, but deleting one may. This is usually reserved for admins or super users. Therefore, we will modify this once we have tested the role setting. Let's log in with Thor, the user with the observer role we just modified. We will attempt to create a new business process and delete it. To start, we see the business process pane 4001. Initially, we see that the icons to create and delete are active. We need to verify that they are in effect for this user type. I click on the new icon and see that the new line is created. I select a business process template and click Save. As expected, the workflow is created. Now that I created the workflow, I will go ahead and delete it. Just as we expected, the workflow is deleted. Now let's remove the ability for the observer to delete a business process. We log in as a user with admin rights, or Captain America as we see here, and proceed to select the observer role, the business process element, the actions sub-element, and deselect the delete action for the observer. I will save the changes. If you notice in the sharing pane, the observer now has the exclude value displayed, meaning it is not able to delete. I will now log out of PLM and log in with Thor, our observer. Once the business process is displayed, we can create a new business process similar to the previous attempt. I will try to imitate the exact process from before to show that the process does not affect the results. As you can see here, I created the new business process, and upon attempting to delete, PLM warns me that the action is not allowed. To summarize, we see that the roles management can be frustrating at times, but the granularity allowed provides the ability to fine-tune and hone your role security to exactly what you want or your business needs. For more information about other how-to videos, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. To learn more about Rockwell Consults and how we can improve your manufacturing processes and data management, go to rockwellconsults.com.